This is a Samsung A15 5G screen replacement guide. I've done the A14 and this one is a little bit different where you're gonna need to take out the SIM card tray and then you'll heat up the back on a heating pad or use a heating gun or some sort of heating source to get the adhesive pried off. This video's sponsor, Drive Savers, and this is a hard drive. It is definitely broken and it needs a data recovery. Along with this phone was unrepairable and has something board level wrong with it. And Drive Savers is definitely the place you want to send your repairs that you failed to repair and you need to do a data recovery. Use my reference code to get a free estimate today and see if they can get the data. I'll leave details in my description below. After heating it up, grab a metal pry tool of your choice and pry around the edges, and then use a plastic guitar pick to also work your way around the edges so you don't accidentally pluck the battery with your metal pry tool. You could start a fire and you would want to be safe and use a plastic pry tool so that doesn't happen. And then you'll work your tool all the way around, and also using the plastic pry tool ensure that you don't break or rip a ribbon cable by accident if you stick the tool in too far. We're going to pry off the back and lift it up from the right to the left where the camera lenses are, and it kind of gets snagged on where the camera lenses are, so you'll want to rotate your guitar pick right around the edge and just kind of wiggle it and pull it off. I really like the design of this phone compared to the A14. We're going to want to grab out our PH 00 screwdriver, or 000 will work, and you'll just unscrew all the screws from the back before you start prying off the back frame. I really like this phone compared to the A14 because it's more water resistant than the A14 is, but it's still not going to be waterproof like an iPhone. Alright, so we're just going to unscrew all the screws, and the screw sizes don't matter where they belong. We'll disconnect this connector here with our flat end of our spudger. iPhones are waterproof to a certain point, but we'll discuss that in a Q&A if you become a member of my channel. Samsung owners may not care about iPhones, but I do, because I care about everything that's worth fixing, and this Samsung A15 is definitely worth it. We'll get ready to pry off the frame. The best place to pry off the frame is right where the SIM card tray is, and you'll stick the tool in between the bezel of the screen and the frame. So there is going to be two spots where you can pry, and you'll pry at one, of course. And then we'll pry right down where the SIM card tray is and get our tool underneath the frame. You'll do a twisting motion as you pry it off, and you'll hear a snap. So you definitely want to start where the SIM card tray is. It's the easiest spot to get your tool underneath, and then you'll work your way around the edges and listen for that snap. You want to lift it up just like how I am here. Be careful for the power buttons. There are buttons underneath there that you could instantly rip off. And if your part doesn't come with the buttons, you might have to take it off, but my part did come with the buttons. So I do recommend disconnecting the battery right away, which is this orange connector. If you don't disconnect the battery right away, you could risk breaking the phone completely, and you might have to send it to Drive Savers actually to get a data recovery. You would think that the phone might actually be broken all the way when it had such a broken screen. The connector, the FPC connector for the screen, was already disconnected when I took it apart. There is one PH 000 screw that's holding down the board, which is black, and then also one down by the charge port. The FPC connector for the screen is connected right above the charge port, and then the one for the charge port is on the left. There is this little piece of the screen connector, and you actually got to lift it off the charge port, and it's just held down by adhesive. So you'll want to get a pry tool and then break the adhesive so then you can get the charge port out, and you'll have to lift up this connector. Now we can lift out the charge port with ease, and it's not held down by any special adhesive or anything, just by that FPC connector, and then we'll keep the antennas still connected. You can disconnect them, but I like leaving them connected because they can easily break, so be careful when you take them off. I recommend taking a picture of them if you do take them off to remember where the colors go as well. So we're going to get ready to take out the battery, and we'll take out the new part and take a look and see what small parts we might have to transfer from the old housing to the new. So we got the new housing out, and we're taking a look at it while we decide what parts we might have to transfer over. We won't have to transfer over the ear speaker. I ended up thinking I needed to at first. Normally you do. We'll have to get this little vibrating motor out, and also the other thing is to look out for is if the power buttons are on there. To take out the vibrating motor, you'll want to use some alcohol and then also some bended tweezers and lift it up in that spot. There's a little prying spot. And then we're going to have to take out the battery. There's this pull tab, and this thing did not move for me. It was so hard. I was just like max strength thing. Nerd rage, strength. I was trying to get this thing out. I like shook my table up, and I just was like, could not get it out. I was having a real hard time. I skipped that part of the video, and now I just used a little bit of alcohol, and then it allowed me to pull it out. Please, if you use my video, I don't have any affiliation with the parts or the links that I'm going to provide in my description below, so I highly recommend you leave me a super thanks. So super thank you for watching my video, and we're going to speed up the rest of the video, because if you guys got it this far, I know you guys can get it back together. It's very easy, because all you need is imagination in your heart and a little bit of practice, and anyone can fix something. We'll use our double-sided tape or 3M adhesive to put down some adhesive for the battery, and then we'll lay down the board and the charge port, and then lay down the camera, make sure it's snug, and put down everything else. We will lay down the PH000 or 00 screws where it has a gold circle around it, and that is your indicator of where the screw goes back in. Same goes for the charge port.